Imagine being the most powerful character within your series. Now imagine that, but with a mental illness. This is Eminence in the Shadow. Whenever I started this anime, I went in with no expectations. Well, that's a lie, because I did go in with the expectation of it being a generic Isekai clone, boring and repetitive. However, the intriguing thing is, it makes it very distinct with its animation that it's deviant from your generic Isekai clone. The second half of the first episode gets pretty dark and disturbing. And then fucking Batman shows up. He beats the living shit out of the thugs, and at this point, I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. The first thing that came to mind is this man trying to be like Kick-Ass? But then he says he wants to be the Eminence in the Shadow. My mind was like, oh, this man wants to be the strongest in the world. We're gonna be watching some Baki type shit. Then the anime just fucking ends his life. And now he is reincarnated into another world, but with magic. Something he wanted so bad his entire life that he trained religiously for. So much so that he can just die. Wait. Hold on. This is Cid. If you were looking up the definition of being hooked on the grind, he would show up first. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said, imagine being the most powerful character within your series. Now imagine that, but with a mental illness. Yeah, that's Cid, except he's not mentally ill. He is a Sigma male. I do not know anyone who can gaslight women better than he can. It's like if Kazuma and Wao Ling had a kid. He just wants to live his life as a background character and will go to such far lengths to prove it so. Such as having 48 different techniques of having his ass beat by the second strongest swordswoman in the school. He gets stripped and tortured, and the only thing on his mind is out unshining the background character. And you think he would get tired of it? Nope. This man stays there for 3 days until they release him. Cid's main goal is to be really fucking powerful, to be the Eminence in the shadow that hunts within the shadows. And I'm gonna be real, I have no clue what that means, but it just sounds so fucking cool. And I'm gonna be real, the show itself has two different plots going on because you can view this show from two different perspectives. From Cid's perspective versus other people's perspective. What I mean by this is, you know when I said Cid is an elite gaslighter? So one night Cid was hunting some bandits. Among all the treasure, he finds a flesh monster. This is what's known as demon possession. He takes it back to his place to perform magical experiments on it, and guess what? You will never get it. Turns into an anime girl. Yeah. And as she wakes up fresh into the new world wondering what just happened, what does Cid proceed to do? He fucking he fucking lied. He proceeds to ad-lib an entire story. And that story turns out to be true. And this man, Cid, has no idea. He just thinks that they're playing along with him. He turns regular bandits and enemies into people that are from the cult. The cultist's main goal is to revive the great demon king, or whatever. And the cult human traffics girls, specifically the ones with royal blood. And some of the cult is also within the Night Order, so they're pretty entangled with the forces made to protect everyone. It's kind of like an MCU moment. And while everyone is dealing with that, Cid is taking this as a game, oblivious to what's actually going on. Really, homie is just too powerful. I don't think I've seen an anime in a while that's actually thrown me for a loop. Around episode 9 it gets really serious and I forget everything from Cid's perspective. And I finally start looking from other people's perspective on how serious they see the situation. It's really badass, like, damn. I don't know how to write a transition, so for this, let's just get on with it. I was gonna go on a talking spree of how much the anime and manga are two totally different vibes. While they both do hold the same story, the manga makes all the characters appear much nicer on the outside. And when they let out the real version of themselves, they have a much more rude side to them. For the most part, the manga is hilarious. Even though it takes the comedy route, when it gets serious, the art amps it up to an 11. It's so damn good. In the manga, Cid has much more of a personality and is more expressive, while in the anime, he comes off as really bland. As well as Princess Alexia, in the anime, it's clear from the beginning that something's suspicious and off about her. But in the manga, you would have never guessed she's putting on an act until she finally reveals it herself. She actually appears to be excited about dating Cid, the light novel. Cid is actually the most insane character in this series. He, for real, should go get some help. The man was running through a field of flowers butt naked as part of his magic training. Also, why does the light novel go into so much detail? It went into the specifics as far as telling us he used magic to tighten up his asshole so he doesn't have to poop before calling for help. Another thing, Cid talks so much in the manga. He went on a monologue talking about on how much he doesn't like the world's fighting style. But I do gotta admit, The part where it went into detail about the slimes and their magic compatibility, about how he made his suit, was really awesome and I enjoyed every second of it. The light novel is actually really something else. I don't usually read too many books because my attention span is that of something with a low attention span, but this time around my attention was intrigued and I kept wanting to read more. One thing about it is when it went from the light novel to the manga then to the anime, all of the explanations slowly started to drop. If you were wondering how Cid is so powerful in the anime, you'll get a little bit of that explained in the manga, but you'll get a much greater explanation if you read the light novel. So any questions you do have more than likely is explained, but just in the light novel. But for some reason that information didn't carry over, but I do understand because it's a lot of information to carry over. But the anime, manga, and light novel all have their uniqueness that makes you enjoy it. It's like a different experience every time, and I'm 100% being a real nigga. This is my first time writing a video like this, so let's see how it does. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like to show that you did, and if some of you are feeling rebellious, then at least let me know what you think about the Eminence in the Shadow. Would you prefer the anime, manga, or light novel? Honestly, I'm enjoying the anime, but I think I'm gonna consume the manga as well. Anyways, thank you all for watching, I love you all, and I will see you all next time.